The University of Oregon is located in Eugene, a city of 80,000 people, situated in the lush Willamette River Valley, midway between Cascade Mountains and the Pacific Ocean.
Touchdown! Stewart! Yeah, I got your speed right here.
Kenjon Barner, 10, outside 5. Are you kidding me?
I'm really proud of where this team's at. We got a lot of work to do.
What's the deal, Duck family? I am Kenjon Barner alongside my boy Jay Stu, and we want to welcome you to another episode of the Ducks of a Feather podcast. We got quite the episode in store for you. We got one special guest, 55 in your playbook, number 1 in your heart, been on record saying that he is the best interior lineman. And listen, I concur. I agree. And I concur. So, ladies and gentlemen, we want to welcome Mr. Marcus Harper. How we doing?
What happening?
What's the deal? What's going on in Marcus's world?
Man, we just got finished, wrapped up pro day today. You know what I'm saying? And did my thing today, man, for real. So
Feeboo! Yeah. I hear.
Yeah.
So talk to us a little bit about this pro day. Obviously we've all been there. How'd it go for you?
Bro, it was good. It was quick as I don't know what though, because you sit up there and last night couldn't really sleep for real. You know what I'm saying? I had to kind of calm the nerves down, but I was prepared. But it's just just excited about the day.
Yeah.
This is one of the biggest interviews of my football career, and it's like you get one shot at this opportunity. You don't get no redos and all this other stuff. So so wake up, boom, go through the same. But honestly, it's treated like a game day. Went through how I'm gonna be doing game day, and then. Boom, next thing I know, I'm underneath the bench press, revving out 225, So I get that. I got 21 on the bench press, you know what I'm saying?
All right.
But
strong.
the thing was, so I got underneath, one of my strength coaches, Drew Jordan, he asked me, do you want me to count? I said, no, I don't count, bro. I said, just let me just ride.
Yeah.
So in training, I was like, okay, when you get fatigued, that's around number 15. The goal was 25. Okay, so then after that, we just going to take it, Noah's Ark 2x2, you know what I'm saying?
There we go.
So then,
I
do it. I get fatigued. I say, okay, this is good. 1, 2.
Yeah.
I said, okay, 1. In my head, I said, bro, that's 19. I'm sick. I said, we are not setting the tone.
Yeah.
And then I get up, 21. I said, there we go, baby. I said,
we right where we want to be.
So I did 21. That really just helped set the tone for the day, and everything else from that on was fluid, like I wanted it to be. 40, I ran I got my numbers back. I ran a 5.2 140, which was good. Vert.
Hold on right there with the 40.
Yeah.
I always wanted to ask an offensive lineman.
Yeah.
When you have to run a 40, when you ain't trained all your life to run a 40, what is the stress level
you see
that goes through your process?
Hey, look, you see the hand rub, dog. Look, because I got some things to say who let people, offensive linemen run these 40s.
Well,
right?
Get it off your chest. Off your chest.
I got something I got to say, right? I ain't a track star.
Uh-huh.
If I'm running 40 yards down the field, we need to get something.
We in trouble.
We in trouble. But you know what? I'm sitting up, all right. But I'm always entertained with confidence. I'm entertained with confidence and knowing I'm a dominant. That's just that's my mindset going into everything, right?
Uh-huh.
So I'm like, all right, cool. I'm an athlete. I should be able to, you know what I'm saying? Okay. The goal coming in the training was like 4.82. All right, you know what I'm saying? Dog, that first time I ran that 40, it said 5.4. 5.4? I said, oh my God. I said, what are we doing? Man, I ran my 10 because all right. So then in the 10, in the 40, the biggest thing for us is like our 10-yard split.
Yeah,
same thing. I said, okay, I understand fast. I can, I get 10 yards. That's my bread. But the first time I ran a 10-yard split, 2:01. Now, mind you, in the perspective of offensive lineman, like good offensive line, 10-yard split is like 169, 170, 171 up in that ballpark. So it took me 2 seconds to go from a dead stop to go 10 yards. I said, bro, I'm gonna be honest with you. It was like a couple weeks ago, I looked at my times and stuff. I said, bro, I'm gonna opt out of the 40. I said, I'm not gonna put that. I can't put that on display. If I can't do that to myself.
Can't put that on tape.
Yeah, I can't put that on tape. Hell, you think I'm gonna do that on the biggest job interview of my man? Come on, dog. But
keep it at 100.
Yeah, man. I'm like, bro, what is we doing? Then don't give me like. Luckily, I'm confident in like my short shuttle stuff. So like the 20-yard dash, the L drill, and all these little, I ain't got a lot of space to work with. Those are my bread and butter.
Yeah, you a phone booth guy, man.
Yeah, I'm a big phone booth guy. So I was like, all right,
Big
cool. I'm gonna dominate those. And then after that, then I killed indie drills, with the coaches and stuff like that. And then yeah, man. So I did my thing today, and so it's just everything from here is just waiting the game, dog.
Man, that was beautiful how you explained that.
Man, bro,
that was hilarious.
Who in their right mind was like, all right, 40-yard
because the only time that I can recall an offensive lineman running 40 yards downfield
is on a pick.
Exactly.
And we getting in the smoke, we not gonna be the last line of defense. Cause that get up speed, you ain't got that little extra little gear you can shift it into. You're gonna keep it in neutral for a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Then all of it, by that time you do the little gear shift, you too late. You already behind.
It's over.
Yeah.
It's over.
He's shifting like a semi truck too, by the way, ladies and gentlemen.
I try to catch a V8. It ain't gonna work, dog. It ain't gonna work.
It's definitely not gonna work.
Yeah. Telling you.
So with the pro day, were you happy how everything turned out?
Yeah, my biggest thing is like performance is gonna be what performance here is like. I done spent 8 weeks of my life, doing the same drills that I'm gonna never do again. You know what I'm saying? But not even that. Just like I wanted a certain feeling, like that feeling of gratitude. Like, hey, bro, 5 years in this program. You know what I'm saying? 3 years on offensive line, no sacks, 40+ starts, Big Ten champ, all conference. Like, I really want to have like a sense of like, okay, bro. You done solidified and, personally, you can hang your hat on your career here at Oregon and be like, this is how I want it to go out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it was more of a feeling, and if the numbers reflected that feeling, cool. If they didn't, I would have been a little bit disappointed. But to have those numbers reflect in the proper way that I wanted to, like I said, hell of a career for myself. I got to give myself some flowers, if anything. You know what I'm saying?
No, you getting your flowers. Because I think one of the things you just said, I mean, your career as an Oregon Duck.
Yeah.
You can hang your hat on the fact that you was an Oregon Duck the whole entire time.
And that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Which a lot of guys ain't gonna be able to say.
Yeah.
You was able to stick it through the tough times, the hard times, different quarterbacks, different guys in the huddle. You know what I'm saying? Coaching changes.
Yeah.
I think COVID? You was
I was a COVID baby. Yeah, that's
you was a COVID baby.
I was a COVID baby. You know what I'm saying? I came in 2020, man, and we came and we came in. We had to sit in the dorms for a little while. Just that whole little season was just like crazy because I'm like, dang, like I don't really get to experience college like how I wanted it to be.
Yeah.
And then, that shortened season, we won a Pac-12 championship, but it wasn't like it wasn't what I expected it to be from the season standpoint. Then that next year is like, okay, now we back to regular scheduled programming and stuff. And then, I'm not playing on my special teams. I'm just, on the field goal. And then, okay, the coaching staff that recruits me, they leave. So I'm sitting over here like, I ain't got no film personally like to put out in the top of the transfer portal to go show nobody, no other coach. You're like, because the high school film, like, in my head, I'm like, ain't nobody looking at the high school film. Like, it was good high school film, but it's like, ain't nobody looking at that. Like, what have you done for me lately? That's the business.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just reality. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just stick it out here. But also, too, like, I made a promise to myself. Like, this isn't like everyone else is hanging their hat on this. I said that to myself before I even got to college. Without even knowing the NIL thing was finna come, the transfer portal was finna get as popular as it was. Like, I told myself, I said, hey, bro, like, no matter how hard it get, don't you dare leave this school. Like,
yeah. Where does that come from? I saw an article of you mentioning your dad playing a main role in your life. I'm imagining you was brought up the right way because like everything that you're saying really just it just resonates with a guy that was built from a certain cloth.
Yeah.
What was the main thing your pops told you growing up that has given you your way of thinking?
It was his way. It was what he brought me up on. It was like, bro, if you're going to start something, you better finish it.
Yeah.
That was number one. And then I had an experience my junior year of high school. I just had it was in the height of my recruiting time. And I didn't know people know this story. Even really paid attention to like the timeline or whatever. I just had a lot of personal stuff going on, like relationship issues, not really, understanding like, understanding my self-worth and all this other stuff. So I got all the college coaches telling me this thing, but on the other side, I'm not really being able to like, understand what is this, who I am as a person. Like my identity, I was really in a real identity crisis. So I just honestly, I remember went up to my my mom's alma mater, Senior Career Academy one day, and I was just like, I just want a fresh start, like running away from my problems.
Yeah.
And I left. Luckily, I was able to come back to my high school and things like that and kind of get that squared away. But I was like, all right, bro, you didn't try. And honestly, along the way, early leading up to that, I tried to leave football. Like I tried to quit football, like everything. And my offensive line coach, Tom Cicero, I love him to this day. I hated him when I was in high school though. But he brought me up on varsity as a sophomore, my second year playing football, and he told me like, bro, you're not going back down to sophomore. Like that's too easy for you. But he wouldn't let me, like I wasn't playing. Like, so sitting up there and I'm just like, I'm not gonna run away from my problems no more. I'm gonna face these problems head on, no matter how hard it get, and I'm gonna figure it out. And I did that so early at like 17 by coming from Chicago to Oregon that I've hit every single problem head on. And now that's just who I am. So now that's a part of my identity. I'm gonna figure out, I'm gonna work now to figure out, okay, there's a problem, okay, what's the solution? And don't just run away from it. Because I always say, you're gonna run away from it, that problem will come back again at some point in your life. So you be better off facing it now.
That's some wisdom there.
You've been an advocate for mental health.
Mm-hmm.
And based on the things that you just explained to us, talk to us a little bit of how really tapping into your mental health at such an early age helped you through the process of being there during the COVID season, Cristobal leaving, Dan Lanning coming in, not having any film, but sticking it through and staying all 5 years. Because that you don't really, now in this day and age, that's not something that you hear. Guys are jumping to the next best thing when the opportunity arises. So talk to us about that mental health aspect of it and what you did, the places you had to go in order to get to where you are today.
It's crazy, bro. I would say I just kept good people around me. You know what I'm saying? I say my mom, my dad, just a community I personally built because I really understood the power of community early on too. So my godfather, he's a God-fearing man, so he stuck by me, really understanding like the spiritual side of things. That was one side. And then honestly, God really led me to, I remember I got injured spring of 23 and I ended up getting into therapy. I reached out to therapy. I found like a better help. Kind of just put in some stuff I was dealing with because in the 22 season, like a lot of my triggers was like just popping like badly. And I never told nobody about it because I just thought like that's just how I thought like football was gonna be for me. You know what I'm saying? Like it became such a normality. I was just like, that's something I just go through during season. And then, I talked to a therapist while I was out and stuff. And it really like cleared up my line of thinking to where like on the field, like, or I understand what these triggers are, I could better address them. You know what I'm saying? And ever since then, like I pride myself on always looking at, myself first before I look at the external thing. And if I ever got to, like I'm always reading some type of, self-help book. I'm always looking at something to better like my habits, my mental habits. And I didn't literally seen it turn me on 180. Like now I'm one of the most like calmest and some of the most craziest storms. Like to the pro day, perfect example. Everybody a little anxious, a little bit excited, everybody walking around. I'm sitting there chewing my bubble gum, listening to my Lil Wayne. You know what I'm saying? Like I got my own little thing. But if you would have told me in that same scenario when I got here freshman year that I would be like this calm and level-headed, I would have been like, bro, you crazy as I don't know what. Because the stuff I used to do in high school, like it just, how I would talk to myself mentally, like it's crazy.
What's awesome is that obviously were there resources that were made known to you about therapy and self-help and stuff like that?
Do that, Marcus, before you answer that question, I want to add on to that question. Can you talk about some of the things that you struggle with that you had to overcome? Because what we like to do on here, we don't always just talk about the good. The good is the bad that people learn from. And I'm sure that there's somebody in your very position dealing with some of the very things. So I want you to expand on that too. So go ahead and answer Stu and then add that in on the end.
One thing, can we pause this convo? I got to grab this charger for this.
Do your thing, brother. Do your thing.
Yeah, go ahead. Hey, yeah. I say, yo.
Tell me, fellas, have you seen her?
Seen her.
It was about 5 minutes ago. When I seen I had this chick that a youngin' never seen before. You throwing me
You know
off.
something that's bumming that
I
breeze.
say, yeah.
You know something. You know something. You know that breeze. For sure.
Don't know your name, but excuse me, miss.
Saw you from across the room.
Okay.
Yo.
I gotta
You got-
admit that you
So
got
Jarvis
my
Bird.
attention.
Jarvis Bird singing this song loud one day in the dorms. And he thought nobody could hear him. And boy, was that
Going
thing.
in.
If I had a camera phone back then, that would be the most viral moment of
Well,
his life.
listen, that's why those times were the best times, because you couldn't record nothing. Okay, you had to be there to experience it.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Them the worst times. Because now you got to
Nah,
record
them-
back on it. Be like,
Mm,
see when I
them-
saw you
them the
thinking that's
best
doing
times.
this? All right, we
Them
good.
the best times. Okay.
All right. So,
Do you remember the questions?
no, y'all got to react to that question for sure.
Go ahead, Stu.
Yeah, so basically, what resources were there on campus or within the organization, within Oregon football, that made you aware of, the opportunity to speak to a counselor, a therapist, and if you can expand on, your actual encounters as far as your personal experiences that you can share with us.
Some of the things that you were struggling with that you had to overcome.
Yeah. So, I was made aware of therapy, like I said, at the end of my 22 season. I was like, I got to do something. Like, because I know I'm a good football player. Like, I've seen, obviously, get to the starting point where I was at. I had to have some level of mental, lock-in to be able to endure spring ball, right? So, honestly, I heard about it in like a team meeting. Like, I forgot his name. But he came up and spoke to us, and I was like, okay, whatever, whatever. I always had this in the back of my head, though, like, Black men don't always address the stigma of, like, reaching out for therapy. Never wanted to be a part of that stigma. And then all of these podcasts, I'm an avid podcast listener, and if they do the YouTube, watching them do it, all of the ad breaks, they would just talk about, like, better health. Or they would talk about, whatever mental, health service that they had provided. So I just sat there. I was like, you know what? I'm tired of sitting here thinking like this. And I say, honestly, if I continue to think like this, I don't think I'll make it out of college football. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. And it was the negative self-talk and that negative belief system that was a byproduct of that negative self-talk. I care about my craft so much. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm out on that field, I don't like being terrible. No one does. You know what I'm saying? So I will try to hold myself to this, like, imperfect standard, and I'm not just having fun with the game, right? So anytime I will miss the smallest of things on the block or anything of that nature, I'm like, oh, you're not good enough. Dang. And then that train track of thoughts that would just go down into there, it got to the point, dog, I would be sitting in my apartment room after games. I remember this vividly. This was probably after I think Utah in 2022. I was just sitting in my room. Everyone else is out, like, having fun. We enjoying the game. We hadn't beat Utah in a while. Everybody enjoying it. Dog, I'm in my apartment room, pitch black, no TV on, and I'm just sitting there. For me, and they gave us food after the game, and I had convinced myself so much. I said, bro, you didn't do good enough. You don't deserve to eat.
Man.
So, like, but you know what I'm saying? You know how dark that is, bro? And, like, I came to the facility the next day, chopped it up like, it was nothing. You know what I'm saying? Took my notes from so then on top of that, coaches got a coach, and I'm listening to these coaches critique. So I'm already my hardest critic. Now I'm listening to these coaches, give me feedback. And I'm sitting up here and I'm just like, bro, like, I'm just not good enough to play this sport. You know what I'm saying? And that's on a Sunday. We have to play Saturday. So I would take myself through this mental roller coaster, kind of pick me up all the way up through to Saturday, just to kind of fall off the edge Saturday in game. Mind you, this is all of this mental track is happening in game. Sunday, pick myself back up. Same. And it would do that from, I remember it first re-triggered Eastern Washington. You don't want to probably look at the game. I remember we had I know ain't nobody gonna look at the game. It was GWAP. It was a power play. Well, no, counter play. GY. I just whiffed on the DN. And it didn't stop until the offseason. And for me, that was normal. That was normal. So, like I said, that's just what it became to be.
So, like, walk us through how you got through that, though. Like,
Yeah.
what was some of the things that you learned in therapy? Because I think this is stuff that every athlete goes through. We are all our worst self critic, and you have to find the balance, right?
Yeah.
Because you absolutely want that. You want better. You want better for yourself than anybody else could ever want for you, right? But walk us through some of the things that you learned through therapy that helped you overcome this.
Yeah. Understanding a lot of my core self wounds, understanding what was the root cause of those things, and then kind of just journaling them out. I'm a big journaler. Like, I believe in that. Like, religiously, you got to get your thoughts out on paper. Or if not that, my default is like the voice note. That's like my most used app is the voice memos app. I got like 400 voice memos, just, getting my thoughts out of my system. So just kind of talking that out, sitting over here. So then you match that with the self-help books. And you talk about Atomic Habits. I think is my favorite book of all time for self-help, because it understands how to psychologically change the way you view habits and how to habit stack and all these other different things. So I will go through those things, and then week to week I will talk to my therapist. So like, you go to that summer was pretty good, and then I would talk to probably a sports psych probably before the game and after the game. How was practice throughout the week? Okay, cool. What are the things? And honestly, it was just a change of perspectives. So like, every time you see me in an interview, like I remember early on in this past season, you'll see me in an interview. This is a mindset shift. I'll just be like, oh yeah, we just getting the bad stuff out the way. Old Marcus would have been like, yo, dog, I don't know what. Like, I would have fell off like completely.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was just really just changing my perspectives on scenarios. So now anytime I see a scenario that's not in my favor, I honestly just change the perspective on it, and it's helped me better now to this day, to where it's like, there's nothing that and another thing, I got the work ethic too. Like, I wanted to get better too. So like I said, switching the mental habit, being real with like, okay, what is this core wound? Like, what triggered it? And then just finding a replacement for it. And so now, like, anytime I just see a scenario, it's just like, nah, this is really what this is going on. I might be delusional. I don't care what, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, I'm in a way better mental space today than I was like 3 years ago.
No, that's hats off to you for that work. But I'm gonna ask you to expand a little bit more on the deeper wounds that you mentioned.
Yeah.
The trigger aspect of it.
Yeah.
Where does that?
I started football later than most. I didn't start football until my freshman year of high school, and I honestly was just like a kid, kind of walked off the street, put a helmet on, knocked someone's helmet off, and was like, oh, I'm good at football. Like, before that, you will never see me say anything. Like, up until 8th grade, you will never see me say I like football. I was a basketball kid. Like, I'm a Chicago kid. Basketball. I get into football, and I didn't have success at basketball. I was like 5'10" in 8th grade. I was like the 4th center on the basketball team. Like, let's be real. You ain't, you know what I'm saying? Get to football, freshman year, 6'2", and I get all this quick success. Like I told you, like my sophomore year, I'm on varsity. That sophomore offseason, I put out my highlight tape. I don't have I got like 3 minutes of film. College coming winter workouts. I get 3 offers: Western Michigan, Cincinnati, and Toledo. First 3 offers. This ain't even the full season of me start. Okay, cool. Then locker room start talking, and it's just like, no one, I don't think I had anyone at that time to really let me know it's okay to be different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was so like, wanted to be, I guess, accepted by the crowd, and, had this perception of like, all these things that I thought, but teammates get jealous, you know what I'm saying? This guy's been playing
100%.
from they was in Pop Warner, and they've been trying to work for a college offer, and here I am fresh off the block, you know what I'm saying, trying to, and I just get a couple offers, boom. Now the junior year, that's where everything really changed. Oregon come, Illinois, Michigan State, basically clear out the Big Ten, and I'm just like, ain't nobody on the team really rock. Like, there's a few people that rock with me, but it's just like, dang, bro, like, what y'all jealous for? Like, I ain't even do nothing. So then, for me, that started like the self-sabotage thing. Like, all right, bro, like, I don't ever want to go through that, something as traumatic as that ever again. So I'm not even gonna let myself get to that point. You know what I'm saying? But I'm fighting
Yeah.
against myself because it's like, bro, I know who you are at your heart of hearts. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like sometimes you might not put it out there just because, again, that traumatic event is sitting at the forefront, and it's just like, if I had to go through that traumatic experience again, I'd rather even not even touch it. You know what I'm saying? And it's the worst feeling in the world. Uh, Over the years, I started to again accept like who is really Marcus Harper II. Like I just started to accept who he was, the good, bad, and I used to only try to accept like the good parts of myself and try to negate them and just try to shun away from the bad, or like really lean into the bad and not look at the good. I don't care if you like me or hate me nowadays. Like I'ma be me. You know what I'm saying?
As you should.
Like I'ma be me. And if my thing now is if you got a problem with me, that ain't got nothing to do with me. That's between you and God. And I ain't up there, so I'ma just keep doing me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, not real talk. Yeah,
Yeah.
real talk.
Yeah.
My dad says this because I kind of went through that a little bit
Yeah.
growing up with friends and like, well, damn, like I thought,
I thought you the homie.
Yeah.
but
Now
my
you don't
dad and my
know.
mom,
Yeah.
my mom used to always tell me, everybody you're a friend to, baby, isn't a friend to you.
Oof.
And
Oof.
that for a long time, it took a long time for that to register.
Mhm.
And then my dad would always tell me, son, it's not that you better, it's just that you different. And they
Yeah.
don't understand that. And a lot of people have a self-perceived perception of what they would like to be. They just don't know how to ask you, hey, how did
Mhm.
you do what you did?
Mhm.
How did you get to the place where you're at? How did how did you get this good at football?
Yeah.
How did you, nobody has, especially when we're young, we
Yeah.
don't have that mindset. So my parents, much to like what you had to go through, I instilled that in me young, but it took a long time to catch on. But you said something about writing, and then we're gonna get back to football in a minute. What has writing meant to you? And then with that, you spent 5 years at Oregon. What did Oregon do for you? How did it help shape you as a man?
Yeah. So writing for me gives me opportunity to get my thoughts out.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Because if you keep a man, they just gonna pile up and pile up. And what I felt honestly during the season was like all of my thoughts were suppressed for so long that they just spilled out all at once. So I'm
Yeah.
having just traumatic things happen. Ain't got nothing to do with football. Personal life, football, this stuff, all this stuff is just spilling over. And I never had a chance to like write it out and kind of just talk it through. And I just suppressed it for years. And I was just like,
Yeah.
I'll get to it later. That's why I'm so adamant about facing stuff head on now, because like it's gonna pop up at some point. So you better off just facing it now. You know what I'm saying? Even if you don't have like the whole, story put together, just get it out.
Yeah.
So writing or just talking it out helps me kind of get that out my system. So that way I can kind of just that next play mentality, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I would say Oregon, they just let me be me. And that's
One of
always
the
what I wanted in
greatest
college.
feelings in the world.
You know what I'm
One
saying?
of the
Like, and
greatest
that's what
feelings
I
in the
honestly,
world.
it was honestly God let me over here. I'm gonna be so honest with you, because like I didn't know, again, there's no one in high school that could really tell me how to navigate this recruiting stuff, because out of my high school, like, and I went to a pretty decent high school. We've had some success in like football players. Zach Fulton, he's a NFL 10-year NFL vet, came out of there. John Michael Schmitz got drafted to the Giants a couple years ago. So we got some guys that came out of there. So I'm sitting up there and I'm like, but no one's had like, dude, Oregon,
Yeah.
Illinois, like you clearing the Big Ten. Who do you go to talk about this? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I was like, bro, I just gotta get away. I gotta figure out who I am away from home, away from, Chicago. I gotta figure out who Marcus is. Like, truly, who am I? And if that process, football is meant for me, then cool. If not, as long as I know I can come out of, Oregon and be like, hey, look, I know who if I gotta go in this world without ball, I know who I am as a man,
Yeah.
and I'll be good, right?
Mm.
So Oregon came out here, and again, they just let me be me. I figured out more about myself that I hadn't even anticipated. I'm gonna be honest with you. Found out like I'm a hell of a hard worker. You know what I'm saying? I'm a God-fearing man. I really I got a personality on me. You know what I'm saying? I'm damn good at football. You know what I'm saying? Like all these
Talk about
other
it.
different things, but like,
Show enough.
you know what I'm saying? Like, but I promise you, if I would have went to any other school, I would probably only know the football side of Marcus, and I wouldn't know Big Mark, and I wouldn't know Marcus Harper II. Those are two different people. You know what I'm saying? And so Oregon just helped me like bro, like, okay, you offensive lineman, cool, but like you like get on stage, you like talking to people. Okay, we're gonna put you in front of people, at the Oregon signing day in Portland. Okay, cool. We're gonna put, you know what I'm saying, connect you with all these different people. I don't know, okay, you good on the football side too? Cool, we got that. You wanna, be a franchisee and all okay, cool. Like they had a lane for anything that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got people who have been where I'm trying to get to, and they don't look at me like, bro, you a weirdo, or like you lame because you sitting up there, you 20 years old, you ain't gonna go out, you gonna sit up here and watch, move YouTube videos about Magic Johnson and or guys like franchise and stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was just normal to me. So now I'm just like, or you gonna sit up here and you're not gonna go to this, but you gonna go work out, you know?
Yeah.
And I really just got comfortable with myself. Bro, I sit up here, bro. I got Ninja Turtles sitting up here on my TV stand. I still like to watch Power Rangers. I still like to watch WWE. But like, bro, if you like that, cool. If you don't, that is on you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it took me getting away from my crib, getting away from my, my people. And I saying they were bad. I just had to find out who I was by myself as a man. And I feel like a lot of football players, I know a lot of football players don't know who they are outside of themselves, outside of them pads. And it's just like, I'm glad I found that identity out at 22 and not 32.
I'm
just
about to
wanted
say
note that-
you are ahead of your time, young man, because
appreciate
there's
that.
a lot of people that are retiring football that don't know what to do with themselves, right? You got so much talent, you got so much within you, and you deserve to figure that out. Especially the younger you are, if you're able to figure this thing out, you're gonna be able to do 10 times the amount of things that you are set out to do as you get older. So kudos to you, bro. Kenyon, you about to say something?
Yeah, I just was up at UCLA last Wednesday. I went up there and talked to a class, and they were asking me questions at the end, and what we talked about identity. And to what you just said, they asked me, when you retired from football, was it hard? Was that transition hard for you? And I used to always tell people when that time was coming, it's not going to be hard for me. They were like, "Oh, you say that, but it will be. You say that, but it will be." I never viewed myself as a football player. I always seen myself as something completely different. You talked about your community. My community when I was at Oregon did not consist of football players. Not one. Not a single athlete. My homeboys was Africans.
Yeah.
Everything,
down the whole Rolodex.
everything. And so I found, like you said, you went to Oregon. I was able to find my identity by my community taking me to do different things. And I'm okay. Oh, I like this. Okay, I like this. And so when the time came, I knew who I was outside of them pads. I never looked at myself as Kenjon Barner, the football player. Football just happened to be something that I was good at, and I use it as a vessel to get to these next avenues in my life.
Yeah.
But to what Stu just said, you are far. I knew this when I chopped it up with you at the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
Bro was taught. I said, yeah.
Yeah, you got a future, boy.
Hey, nah, he was like, he asked me something about New Year's. He was like, what's your word for the year? I said, excellent. I said,
excellence. Look, I got it written down.
Yeah.
He said, look, I'm gonna tell you what you said. You said, I'm making excellence a habit. Once it becomes a habit, it becomes a lifestyle. Yeah. I paid attention, brother.
Yeah.
That's
Marcus
exactly
Harper,
what he said.
you have, so one of the things that my mom always told me is whatever you do, make sure you use it as a platform that points people back to God. And if you doing anything other than that, better get back on your knees and pray.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, and obviously there's going to be roller coasters in your life. But one thing remains true. God is always faithful. And I think that you are on a trajectory that in 10 years, we're going to be looking at Marcus Harper like in the grocery store line somewhere. And you're going to be on a magazine or something like that because you have that much experience already.
Yeah.
How old are you? 22?
22.
22 years old.
Young.
And you are well beyond. So any of the listeners out there that's listening to this podcast right now, Marcus Harper worked on himself. He went and motivated himself to do the hard work, to do the things necessary that we all run away from. At some point in our life, we keep running. We run. But at some point,
you're
going to get tired.
Yeah. Yeah. And I got tired of running so early because, like, one, I didn't like the way I was feeling on the field because I truly do love me some football. Like, Yeah, I had quick success early on, ascending to, getting all these offers and stuff. Like, something about putting that helmet on, putting them pads on, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a different feeling. So, now don't get me wrong, like, I love me some football. And I was just like, I
Mhm.
don't want my football to be, um, I don't want it to be hurt because, like, my mental ain't right. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I was like, I get this right, then who really gonna be able to stop me? Because it's really
Mm.
like, baby, it's just me.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only, and I knew it was just me because, like, every time I would hit a roadblock, the feedback was always be like, "Bro, get out of your way." And I got
Mhm.
so tired of hearing that, bro, because again, I just hear a lot of guys, "Oh, potential, potential, potential." But that don't mean nothing if it don't come to fruition.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I was like, on the football field, just in life, I don't want to be a guy that was just like, "Oh, he had the potential, but oh,
Yeah.
he could have done this, but." You know what I'm saying? And so Oregon, like, it forced me to be uncomfortable. It forced me to flip literally every resource on his head for 5 years of my life just to get to this point. Like, outside of football, like, all right, bro, you want to get better at football? Okay. Okay. You don't like working with this trainer. Okay. You don't like working with trainer. Okay. Boom. I figured it out. Okay. I like working with this trainer. Okay. Now that's going to be in my corner. Okay. Cool. You know, like this, this mentor, is okay. This mentor, okay. This mentor, okay. Boom. This point in your life, okay. You're going to have to, come back to this. And again, I did it at such a young age. I'm like, bro, like, the water is literally my oyster, and I could use it at, you know what I'm saying? And I did it so young to where, like, I did it at a time where I'm supposed to make mistakes. You know what I'm saying? And I never forget, like, Trey Benson, former Duck, plays for the Cardinals right now, went to Florida State.
Mhm.
He the one that got me to commit to Oregon. He said something to this, and he probably don't even remember this. We was on both on our official visit. He said, "Bro, come out to Oregon, and you could mess up from the ages of 17 to 21, and respectfully, no one's gonna hold you accountable for it." And he didn't say that to go out there and trick off the opportunity,
Yeah.
but it put me in the mindset of like, bruh, you could come out here and football could not even be in your cards. And you can mess up and be like, oh, okay, well, at least I tried that far away from home. I'm away from my family. I done found this whole other side of myself that then turned into something, something completely different. Okay, well, let's see and let's try this. You know what I'm saying? And that always stuck with me. I made that promise to myself at 17. I said, bro, I'm not running away from none of this because it's gonna haunt me at some point. 3 years later on the football field, I'm excelling off the field. I'm just getting started, and I'm just excited for these next 5 to 10 years of my life because when I keep the same mentality going through the NFL, like you said, you're gonna be looking up in 10, 15 years, and dude, I'm gonna be something that I didn't even dream of.
Ooh,
Mhm.
that's
Yeah,
powerful.
yeah.
Um, your own worst enemy is
Hmm.
not the man next to you. It's
Hmm.
not the
It's
man across from you.
enemy.
It's the
It's
man in the
yeah, it's
mirror.
in
It's
me.
the man in
Yeah,
the mirror.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
so for you to take that head on, I mean, that you what you've spoken about becoming a man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm hearing, the resounding message as I hear you talk. It's about stepping into manhood and
Hmm.
dominating, and that's what you're doing. So congratulations and kudos to that. But let's jump back into some football.
All
We didn't
right.
hit the personal stuff. Let's jump into this ball.
Yeah,
Okay, so listen, you Mr. Versatile. Okay,
absolutely.
You played 2 years at left guard.
Yes, sir.
You played this season at right guard,
Yes, sir.
and then I hear that you are now taking center snaps.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about that.
All right. So left guard. How I got to left guard. I played right guard my entire high school career. I was like, at some point, I got to go to left guard. Say, let me knock these reps out right now, because I know when the NFL come knocking, I don't want that to be the first time, I'm taking left guard reps. I'm looking like Booba the Fool. Okay, cool. Dominate over at the left guard side, 2 years, bada boom. This year, early on, we had some struggles. I was like, I'm gonna be honest with you, left guard ain't even my natural side. And the side I struggled was like, right guard ain't my natural side. So Coach Terry, we talked to Coach Terry, made that flip. Rest of the season is what it was. So Terry also told me, he was like, look, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm 6'3", 310. He was like, not saying you can't play guard in the league, but like, no, it was Terry and it was Adrian Clem, second offensive line coach. He was like, you could, bro, you intelligent, you know what I'm saying? You got a good head on your shoulders, you'd like to think and everything like that. But center might be your little 1-2. So I messed around. I started snapping after my sophomore season, and every day before pre-practice, I would go out with the centers and just snap because you just never know. Like, you don't ever want nobody to get hurt,
Yeah.
but you just never know. When the time will be knocking, and if I'm gonna go do something, like, again, I ain't gonna be no scrub now. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm,
So I was
mhm.
like, okay, I just made sure I take snaps every day with them centers. Whenever I do got to put my hand on that ball and make a call, like, we're gonna fit up in that line like it's nobody business. So yeah, I mean, I know I can dominate at left, I know I can dominate at right. Man, what opportunity it'll be to put my hand on that ball. And if I got to make a call, you already know what you're gonna get with Marcus Harper II. Like, it's not gonna be no drop off. It's gonna stay the same and it's gonna excel forward.
Yeah.
So
With you taking snaps at center, what guys are you looking at that next level to learn stuff from?
yeah, I look at everybody. Honestly, I do a deep dive into some older films. So I looked at the Pouncey twins, looked at
Mhm.
Rodney Hudson, guys kind of with my similar build. Who else is center? I look at Creed Humphrey a lot. But really those older school centers, just because they play the older style of football, and their mental track is different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The NFL is a lot newer now. There's a lot more speed induced. So if I do have a guy to look at right now, is Aaron Brewer. He's a center for the Dolphins.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So a guy, guy who's been dominating speed for a real long time. And I just look at guys and, okay, I could take a little bit of this from his game and put that there, kind of add my own little remix to it. But I was actually training for combine training. I actually got to meet Rodney. He was out in Knoxville with me. So great to just pick his mind and see how he saw things. And literally just another guy I'm glad I got in my back pocket when it comes to the football side. Because, if I do got to make that transition at the next level, put my hand on that ball, I got a Pro Bowl center that's kind of coaching me from behind the scenes. So, yeah, man.
I want you to add one more guy to that. Smaller guy, small, undersized guy at that position, but an absolute dog, Jason Kelce.
Jason, yep. Dog.
Please
And
go
Ryan
study that
Khalil
dude.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ryan Khalil.
Okay, yeah, Ryan Khalil. Yeah, a lot of people don't know about Ryan Khalil. Yeah.
And Ryan
Please
Khalil.
study them two dudes. Please study them two
Smart
dudes.
players. The biggest thing is just you got to know you need to be your quarterback's best friend.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Outside of that, the quarterback's best friend is going to be a tight end in a running game. But you need to be able to make calls when a quarterback is out of breath.
Yeah.
Or when they get their head knocked in for some reason. If you see something that doesn't align properly with what you know the protection should be, that's something that everybody from guard to tackle to tight end to running back is gonna hope that you know. It's like, whoa. We shouldn't be in this. It shouldn't be Larry. It should be Ralph. Right?
You are the quarterback.
Yeah.
And that's the way you got to approach it. I've listened to Jason Kelce override the quarterback multiple times in a very aggressive way.
Yeah.
What the
What the hell?
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Shut up.
Pause the mic.
Shut up.
And even honestly, I know I like playing center because even when I put my hand on the ball, the command, who I am as a man, as a person, very much resonates with, I feel like, the center position. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Because you can rally the troops.
I can
rally
the troops.
If we stand in the huddle, I can listen to the quarterback and I can listen to you.
Yeah. And I feel like I earn the respect of I know I earn the respect of the locker room first. So I get everyone around me, you know what I'm saying, to really see how I'm coming about my business. And then from that, I'm gonna be in that playbook. So I'm gonna know, okay, this, that, and the fourth. But yeah, I like those options. Ryan Khalil, like I said, perennial All-Pro, and then Jason Kelce.
Yeah.
We already know first ballot Hall of Famer. I don't care who it is, but yeah.
So I want to know something. Got a question. So, Bo Nix last year, y'all had only 5 sacks.
Yeah.
5.
Yeah.
Earlier in the season, this past season,
about 5 a game.
Yeah.
Give it up.
Let's talk about that. What was going on? I want to know kind of what the energy was like in the offensive line meeting room.
All right. Yeah. First, yeah. I love this because this is the turning point of the season, and this is where no one to ever see this, You know what I'm saying? No one ever, this is a moment, everyone is 13-0. Dog, we was walking around them first 2 games like we was 0-2. I swear to God.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you talking about, we're barely, all due respect, Idaho, we're barely beating Idaho. And then we just went
Nah,
off of
ain't no.
a
I'll
field
say
goal.
it. Ain't no respect to Idaho.
Nah,
Okay,
it is
thank you.
because they came, they showed up, and they played.
Yeah,
They
you know what I'm
played and they
saying?
lost. I don't care.
Yeah. But,
Bump
you know what I'm
Idaho.
saying? We sitting over here like, we ain't taking them lightly, but we just like, bro, we know the work that we put in the
Mhm.
summer, and them walkthroughs, in that fall camp. You wouldn't tell us we won the greatest show on turf. You know what I'm saying? Okay, cool. Then week 2 happened. We sit over here like, bro, like, what are we doing? Like, again, we just went off a field goal, dog. Like, what? Like, we supposed to be like, we know we're the best offensive line in the nation. Like, what are we doing?
Mhm.
And I remember I got up in front of the team and I was like, we just getting the bad stuff out the way early.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's what I told him. I was like, bro, we getting the bad stuff out the way early. I said, because like, if it would have happened at Ohio State, then now everybody, I told you so. I told you so. I knew y'all weren't who y'all were. Now we got an identity crisis midway through the season. That's
Yeah.
the worst time to be questioning the core of your team. Okay, we got out the way early. We figured out who really for us, who really against us. You know what I'm saying? That's when FIBU kind of became like, really, we started believing that. And the guys
Mhm.
on the inside of that team, we started banding together, offensive line room. We made that switch. I went from left to right, and the shot came in. Poncho went back to center. And bro, you seen the proof is in the pudding. Dylan got on one
Man, y'all
accord,
turned the whole
and we turned
180.
it up. Yeah.
How big of a move was it for Poncho to go back to center? Because it really seemed once everything kind of shifted and went to
Mhm.
place,
Yeah.
it kind of seemed like everything fell into place.
Yeah. Well, Poncho, that's his natural position. I feel like him playing guard is more of a secondary thing, and it's simpler to go from guard to center. Going from center to guard is a whole different, mind. It's a whole different like
Yeah.
world. So that fit Poncho better. I knew my versatility. I knew what I could do on the right side. I wasn't worried about me on the right side, honestly. Like, I could play next to a garbage can and we're gonna get the job done. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be like, I ain't gonna let, if I'm on that field and I'm next to, but we ain't gonna be trash. Like, that's just
Yeah.
we not gonna be sorry.
Yeah,
We
man,
not
you
gonna
gonna
none
turn
of
the
that.
garbage can into treasure,
Yeah,
huh?
bro, we're gonna turn the garbage can,
Yes,
we're
I
gonna
love
shine it up
that.
a little bit, you know what I'm saying? If y'all trash, we're gonna make you look as good as possible, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Polish you
So,
up a little bit.
yeah, we're gonna polish you up, you shine you up for a look, you know what I'm saying? So I knew what type of tackler Johnny was. Like I said, I played next to Josh, so, and I've hung out with these guys too, so I know what make them tick. You know what I'm saying? And Poncho shifted back to center. I knew what Nashad was about because he likes playing left side. I knew what I could do on the right side, and we just kept going.
Yeah, that was good. That was a good move because that chemistry
Yeah.
definitely showed up on
Mhm.
tape
Was evident.
and
Was
at a
evident.
pivotal time too. But I like what
Yeah.
you said. You used basically what you learned through your mental health, growth,
Mhm.
and shared it with the team, and
You
it
know why though?
resonated. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because I always knew, like, bro, I know I'm a leader.
Mhm.
Whether I want to run away from it or whether I want to, you know what I'm saying, don't accept the lifestyle, because leadership ain't just it's a lifestyle, really.
Mhm.
So I
It's
was
in
like,
you.
yeah, it's in you. Yeah, exactly. And no matter, again, you want to try to run from it, okay, it's gonna catch you at some point. So I
Mhm.
literally go ahead and I'm like, hey dog, uh, after my sophomore year, I knew a leadership moment was gonna pop up and everybody's gonna look to me to be the guy. I just never knew when. That's when I started reading some of these leadership books, and because everybody told me like, be a leader, and that's always screamed about in the locker room. But all due respect to coaches, I don't know if coaches really prep leaders how to truly be a leader. You know what I'm saying? And no one really. I kind of just was like, okay, who are some good leaders I like to look at? You know what I'm saying? What leadership style? What's my leadership style? Okay. Then I kind of started reverting from there, figuring out, okay, well, if I'm gonna be the leader, I gotta set the example. I gotta be the standard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that held me to what it was. Had to get the mentals together. And then boom, I remember like, I was the time, and Dylan, it was a weird position because Dylan didn't want to get up in front of the team, bro. He transfer quarterback. You know what I'm saying? He knew that he wasn't playing to his personal standard. So who's the next person somebody was gonna look to? They was gonna look to me. You know what I'm saying? And in that moment, I felt like it was an identity check. I told them boys, I was like, look, we don't need to be shook by nothing. Like, yeah, okay, we're winning, but we're not winning to the standard. Everybody calm down. Let's, woosah, rub the ears a couple times, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You'll be all right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And bruh, We getting this stuff out the way early. And I'm always infuse confidence around guys around me. Like,
Yeah.
because you can't be, if you ain't gonna be confident, you ain't gonna dominate.
At all.
So, yeah, that's just my thing.
All right. We gonna get you up out of here, but before we do that, your versatility,
Yeah.
it's a weapon. I
Mhm.
learned in the league at a very young age that the more you can do, the more valuable you are.
Yeah.
When it came time, I'll give you a quick little story. When I was with Philadelphia, we signed Jay Ajayi in the middle of the season.
Okay.
And so at this point in time, is Corey Clement, Wendell Smallwood, me, Donnell Pumphrey, LeGarrette Blunt, and Sproles is on IR, and then we signed Jay Ajayi. And that kind of sent some ripples through the running back room. And everybody looking around, I said, well, one of y'all is going to the bench. Somebody ain't dressing up. Because y'all don't do what I do.
Yeah.
I return kicks. I can block on kicks. I can catch out the backfield.
Yeah.
I can run the ball. I'm 7 players in one.
Yeah.
I'm not going nowhere. So y'all got to figure that out.
Yeah.
Your versatility. Hold on to it and never stop learning. Always continue to grow. Keep growing, and I promise you it'll pay off. And I want to ask you, we touched on it briefly, that making excellence a habit and turning excellence into a lifestyle. How is that process coming?
It's going good. I got a pastor out in Dallas. That's where it started from the center out. We came up with 12 scriptures for the year, and those are like my scriptures that I kind of tend to on a monthly. And then my godfather, since I'm a bookworm, find me a book per month that kind of correlates with that scripture. So it really helped change like the mindset of what I'm doing. And honestly, that's what's been able to help keep me sane throughout this process. Is like, again, they say like fix your eyes on Christ. You know what I'm saying? And I always heard about that, but making it a reality. And it's been going good though. Like, obviously you got the first block of the year, first quarter really about to be whatever it is I'm doing. It's time for me to reset and then knock out quarter 2. So just taking it piece by piece, man.
All right, my dude. Stu, you got anything else?
Man, I am impressed by you, and just I think people should look at your story and really follow your career as an example of what not quitting looks like.
Yeah.
A lot of guys, go through the process, have all the talent in the world, but they don't fix this. The difference between the professional athletes that last a long time, like Kenjon just explained for his story, is the 6 inches right here between the ears, right? And the guys that get that right, and the guys that are confident in what they can do and have, parameters and certain practices that they set for themselves to stay within, because it's a marathon, baby. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. And always put team first. But always know this one thing. There's no loyalty in this business besides the paycheck.
That's it.
That's referenced by Coach Skip.
Okay.
Which is my running back coach, our running back coach in Carolina. And that's where the versatility comes in for you, baby. So the more you can do, but also wherever you land, get into the community. And I know you'll do that. Get into the community, plant a flag. Wherever you go, plant a flag, because that's really the platform that's getting you into these spaces, into these rooms. Be intentional about, the opportunities to meet business owners, right? Fortune 500 guys, wherever it is, man, take full advantage of it.
Trust. And I know I'm going to do it because I did it here. You know what I'm saying? So that roadmap I already set for myself, and it's been my return on investment with that right now is wonders. You know what I'm saying? So you put me in a bigger platform, I'm just copy and paste.
As you should. Are you still doing the Big Mark Show?
Yeah, so as of right now, I'm trying to figure out a platform where I kind of want to plant flag for it, because I got so many other ideas I want to do off of it. But trying to figure out, okay, the Big Mark Show is this specific niche that I want to do. It's kind of really, but to answer your question long term, no. I don't know where it's going to be at, but I am still doing the Big Mark Show, yeah.
Okay. All right, my dude. Well, listen, it's been an absolute delight. It's been a pleasure. It's been an honor. You are, like Stu said, you are truly far beyond your years. You are a light in this world, and I pray you continue to shine.
Appreciate that.
Much love to you. Good luck coming up this April with draft day and all of that. I hope you land somewhere where they allow you to be you, because again, that's one of the greatest feelings in the world, to be embraced for you and not expected to be anything more, anything less.
Exactly.
So congratulations on a hell of a career.
Appreciate that.
Godspeed, my guy. Much
Yeah,
love, bro.
much love, boy.
Yes, sir.
Man, he was awesome to talk to.
Man, listen. We've had some guys.
Yeah, some
The
guys.
last two. Is just to hear these young dudes talk. To hear at 22, I didn't have that mindset. I
Me
didn't have that
neither.
mentality.
I just got it.
I wasn't. Look, and I'm 35. I didn't start figuring me out till 2019.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's incredible to see the growth and the development of these young athletes, the cats that we've had on, to hear them talk, to hear the maturity that they talk with, the passion, to know who they are, to know what they are, and more importantly, to know whose they are.
Mm-hmm.
It has truly been a delight to have these last couple of guys on here.
Super encouraging. And just knowing like the next generation, we talk about the next generation, like the legacy, you know, we question what we see on TV, what we see on social media, like, man, where is everybody going with, you know, how they acting with this and what they paying attention with that.
Yeah.
Talking to a guy like that, you know, that's good, that's a leader, that is playing football, that's, you know, going to be on display for people to see and pick up, you know, certain resources and tools to live a better life. Man, I think some of this stuff we got all wrong about some of these guys. And I honestly think that the next generation is just going to be completely different. You have guys like that where when I was in college, the only the closest version of that, as far as like the mindset, the self-awareness, the closest thing that I had to that was Jairus Byrd.
I was just about to say, I was going to say either Titus or Jairus.
Yeah. And so, you know, and you learn a lot from those types of guys, right? Because they're confident in themselves. They don't chase after other people. They're different. And, you know, you want to align with that, right? And it's good to have those, you know, those, I don't know, place markers in your life, so that way you can align with it and make sure that you're not falling off the tracks.
Yeah.
And so if whatever organization gets him, they're getting a prize, because he's going to be able to be one of those benchmarks that people can align with.
He is what GMs and owners call a locker room guy.
Yeah.
He's a locker room guy. He's a guy that I want in my locker room. He's a guy that I want my young guys around. It's to what I tell everybody. Never let your talent get you somewhere your character can't keep you. His character will take him far more further than his talent ever will.
Which is the true strength.
Yeah, it's the strength.
Yeah.
I could care less about your talent. I want to see your intangibles.
Mm-hmm. What do you do when things get hard? What is your coping mechanism? You have a whole he has a whole program for his coping mechanism.
I could absolutely care less about your talent. Who are you when it hits the fan?
Mm-hmm.
Who are you and what are you doing when the lights aren't on and we're not looking? That is a guy that you want in your locker room. That's a guy that you want a part of your organization. So to whoever gets him, as you said, they're getting a gem. And I think that he will rise to, obviously talent has to play a part in it, which he has.
Mm-hmm.
I think that seal will be on his chest in no time.
Oh yeah. No time.
I think it'll be on his chest in no time. I think.
What do you think his favorite food is?
Probably something healthy. Broccolini. Broccoli, asparagus.
Chicken broccolini.
If it's chicken, it's definitely grilled. He not eating fried food. Yeah, no. But,
so if his blocking technique and the way he blocks had to be a food, it would be broccoli.
Oh, that's different. Nah. You watched him play.
Yeah, I'm just asking.
So if the way he play,
mm-hmm.
we going fried catfish. We going chitlins. He play with it. He play. Are you saying? Do you like chitlins?
I love chitlins.
No.
Yeah, I used to hate chitlins when I was little
I'm
because I used
judging you.
to have to wash them, and I used to have they would stink up the house, smell like straight booty, pig booty, because that's
You
what it
like
is.
chitlins?
And so, yeah, I like them now.
Listen, for those who
It's
don't
a
know, chitlins are
delicacy.
pig intestines.
Yeah.
It's not a delicacy.
It's
It
a
should be no
delicacy.
one's delicacy. It should be no one's
And
delicacy.
so you put hot sauce on. Ooh,
No.
you put that
You shouldn't
rice,
put- you
that
sh-
rice
you
in
shouldn't
that hot
put
sauce and the
anything.
chitlins.
You shouldn't
Wiggly,
put
wiggly.
anything on chitlins. Disgusting. I'm judging you.
Yes, judge away.
For the first time in our friendship.
For the
I am
first
judging
time
you.
in forever.
Yeah. Oh, you could tell you got kids. That boy watching that Frozen.
Forever.
Yeah, that boy watching that Frozen. Man, no, but again, Dante, jumping this thing off, going back to LG, the interview we had with him, then following up with Dante and now Marcus.
Yeah.
Oregon fans, you should really be proud of the young men and older gentlemen that have come through that university and what they have turned into. You should be, when you listen to this interview with Marcus, this should put a smile on your face. You should be elated about the young men that are representing this university. Because this isn't the case everywhere you go. I'm sure there's great guys at every university, but there's some universities where it's not looking too good.
Yeah.
There's not too many people that you want to put on Front Street in front of people. And Oregon has a plethora of individuals that they can have represent them. So again, man, shout out to Big Mark. Another phenomenal interview. Another one. DJ Khaled voice.
Another one.
These interviews bring so much joy and so much happiness to my spirit when I hear these young dudes talk. And again, I hear the way that they talk, the tone in which they speak. This is truly an honor to be in the space that we're in, to be able to have these interviews and be the ones that's asking these questions to these guys. It's truly special. This isn't something that I'll ever take for granted.
For sure.
Feeboo, baby. Well, listen, that's all we got time for. Stu, I love you.
Love you.
And as always, ducks of a feather flock together, and we out.